Judge Black, can you tell us in your own words, what is disrobed?
Disrobed is an attempt on my part to try to reach the public to sort of demystify what we judges do on the federal bench. I was just struck over the years by the lack of knowledge that people have, well-educated people. They would ask me questions like, well, how come O.J. Simpson, was not tried in the federal court, but Lemrick Nelson was? Do you do matrimonial cases? Do you handle child custody cases? How do you become a federal court judge?
Why do you think there hasn't been a book like this before?
I think most of my colleagues, I refer in the book to the judicial lockjaw school, where judges feel that they should speak, only in the courtroom or through their written opinions or through scholarly books. And that's all well and good. But great books have been written about the law and about legal issues, but the public doesn't read them because they don't have sex appeal, I guess you might say, that will attract the public. So because of that, there's been this dichotomy, this schism between what we do and what the public knows about what we do. I'm sure there are going to be people out there, you may never see it coming, that may take issue with what I've done. Because there are some, and I respect them, that really feel very strongly that judges should not speak outside of the courtroom or outside of their written decisions to the general public. We have two schools of thought, and I think that hopefully this will trigger a constructive debate. My colleagues are a little bit nervous about it. They don't know what to expect, so to speak. Judge Kogan has assured our chief judge that don't worry about it. Fred has written a good book. You're going to like it. In my situation, I really owe my judgeship to Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. I don't know whether folks remember him, but a great senator. And I think he had the respect of all political persuasions. He just had a committee, and I did not know him. And I just, was encouraged to go to his committee, and they recommended me to him. And people don't believe that. They always ask me, who is your rabbi? That's the conventional wisdom, meaning who was the person that really got you the job, who was a major financial contributor. I had none of that. And, in a way, I don't belong on the bench because I didn't come through this conventional route. I didn't know the senator. I never contributed. I had no rabbi out there. I was just amazed that, I just came out of this process. Meeting with him was just obviously a highlight of my life. Those things stick in your mind. And it's one of the dates I remember, April 17th, 1994. You can't really change your personality. When you first get on the bench, you're very concerned about passing the bad smell test because people are looking at a new judge and you're nervous about that. But I think after 17 years, you are what you are. The most difficult part of being a federal trial judge, I'm sure all of my colleagues will agree, is sentencing. Because you are dealing with, human lives and the human condition. And that really gets you a lot of times. We talk about my death penalty case. And, the public is animated about the death penalty. And it's confusing because each state has its own death penalty laws. And then the Petergation one, the club kids, the drug culture. And I use that to talk about our drug culture. And I think that's pretty well known, what happened during that era. And then I wrote about the Peter Gotti trial, and everybody is infatuated with the mafia. But I talk about it in the context of what the Racketeering Act is all about. And that law was enacted by Congress to get the Gottis, and they did. I like that chapter in the book because there's a lot of human aspects to it also, and I tell a lot of stories there that I get a kick out of, and I think of one where one of the defendants was affectionately called the Lump, and because he weighed 400 pounds, and he was the enforcer. He would just show up when they were trying to collect monies that they had loaned to people, and but he was on bail, and I got in the elevator with him coming up one day, and he looked at me and he said, "Judge, Hughes is a good guy. We really like you, and if we didn't, I'd squash you like an ant right now." And I look back and I can't believe that I was actually the judge in all these cases. When I ask people generally of the three branches of government which one they have the greatest respect for, most people say the judicial system. And, this is sort of my hope that they'll even have more respect for the judicial system if more judges do what I'm trying to do here. I got a call yesterday that President Clinton read the book and he loves the book and he's going to come out and support it. It's just great to be able to look back and take a deep breath and take stock of your life. And this was sort of a discipline that made me do this. But I didn't live life the way it comes out of the book. I lived it incrementally, worried about new clients, making a living, supporting my family, getting anxiety attacks, when business wasn't coming to me. That's the emotional part of it. Looking back now, it's great fun, packaging your life together. I mean, trust me, I had no idea I would be here today years ago. When I just started practicing law, I had no way of knowing that I would wind up as a federal court judge. It was something that I really didn't think about because I didn't do the types of things that normally you do to become a federal court judge.